Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our YouTube channel. I have always opined on this platform that in politics nothing happens out of mere coincidence, and that everything in politics is normally well planned, well scripted, and executed to achieve a specific political objective. Nothing just happens for the sake of it in politics. William Ruto, the 5th president of the Republic of Kenya, today nominated the former governor for Bomet, Isaac Rutto, and Caroline Nzilani to the Judicial Service Commission. Those appointments are intended to help achieve certain political objectives. And the biggest question, which I know most of you are asking, is what are the objectives of appointing specifically Isaac Rutto? So in this video, I want us to look at why Ruto nominated Isaac Rutto at a time when Kenyans are talking of Ruto filling almost all government positions with the Kalenjins. First of all, let us understand what Judicial Service Commission is, the role of the Judicial Service Commission, and the composition before we get into the politics of this particular appointment. And for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is now. Let us get back to the main issue. William Ruto today nominated Isaac Rutto and Caroline Nzilani to the Judicial Service Commission. What is Judicial Service Commission? According to our constitution, and I'm going to make reference on my laptop, the Judicial Service Commission of Kenya is an independent commission established under Article 171 of the Constitution of Kenya. Its mandate, as stipulated in Article 172 of the Constitution, is to promote and facilitate the independence and the accountability of the judiciary and the efficient, effective, and transparent administration of justice. The commission has 11 members, with the initial team appointed in 2010 after the promulgation of the new constitution, which means the Judicial Service Commission has 11 members. Now we are talking of 2 who has been appointed. These 2 are presidential appointees, although they will be approved in parliament. But one thing is clear, that William Ruto has made steps to actually go ahead and take control of judiciary. But first of all, let us look at the people these guys are replacing. And that's how you will understand that this appointment is actually political. In the last commission, the presidential appointees were Professor Oliver Mugenda. That was Uhuru Kenyatta's ally. He was appointed by Uhuru Kenyatta to take care of Uhuru Kenyatta in the judiciary. Number 2 was Felix Koskei, who is currently serving as the head of the public service in Kenya. In fact, someone told me that the reason why William Ruto was able to capture and manipulate the judiciary was because of one man, Felix Koskei. William Ruto knew that for him to be able to capture the judiciary, he just needed someone to sit at the Judicial Service Commission. And that's the role Felix Koskei played, and that's why after the election, the first person to be nominated as his chief of staff was Felix Koskei. But what are the roles of the Judicial Service Commission? According to our constitution, the first role of the Judicial Service Commission is to recommend individuals to the president for appointment of judges. How do you appoint judges? The Judicial Service Commission will sit down, they appoint names forward to the president. Remember the names which Uhuru Kenyatta rejected, which then William Ruto ended up appointing. So if Ruto would want to have so and so and so as a judge, it means out of the 11 members, he already has 2. 3, there is the Attorney General, I think, who will always work with him. So he will just need a few members to push through. Number 2, they're also supposed to review and recommend the condition of service of judges and judicial officers other than their remuneration and the staff of the judiciary. Then the other important thing is here, they appoint, receive complaints against, investigate and removes from office or otherwise discipline magistrates, registrars and other judicial officers and other staffs of the judiciary in a manner prescribed by the Act of Parliament, by an Act of Parliament. So basically, you saw how, for example, Cherera Group were hounded out through a procedure. So the Judicial Service Commission will also be able, if Ruto is not comfortable with a judge, he can initiate that through the Judicial Service Commission. The commission is ideally supposed to be independent, but there's no independence in all this. Then there are other functions there that is supposed to prepare and implement programs for the continuing education and training of judges and judicial officers, and advise the national government on improving the efficiency of the administration of justice. But what are the composition? This is also very important so that you can understand why this appointment, especially that of Isaac Rutto, is important. Going to be Chief Justice will be there, who will chair this commission. So William Ruto currently has captured the Chief Justice. Then there is going to be 1 Supreme Court judges elected by the judges of the Supreme Court. So Supreme Court judges will sit down and agree on a single individual. Already they are serving there. Then there's going to be 1 Court of Appeal judges elected by Court of Appeal judges. So Court of Appeal judges will also elect 1 member, and then 1 High Court judge and 1 magistrate, 1 woman and a man elected by members of the Association of Judges and Magistrates. Then we are going to have Attorney General sitting there, and then 2 advocates, 1 woman, 1 man. These ones will represent the Law Society of Kenya, and then 1 person nominated by the Public Service Commission. Public Service Commission is also just like the Attorney General will side with the government. So already we are talking of 4 people now. Then they're going to have a woman and a man to represent the public, not being lawyers, appointed by the president. So this is where Isaac Rutto and Caroline Nzilani comes in. But politically speaking, what was the main objective of William Ruto's appointment, of William Ruto appointing Isaac Rutto to serve in this commission? Remember, just the other day you saw Isaac Rutto lecturing Raila Odinga. Isaac Rutto is 1 man who has had on and off relationship with Ruto. But at the end of the day, they always work together. Number 1, I think it is strategic positioning. Ruto wants his eye in that commission. By bringing Isaac Rutto, someone will convince you that Isaac Rutto is going to be independent. He's not going to be independent. Ruto is smart. What Ruto has done is that he has managed now to subdue Isaac Rutto. You know, Isaac Rutto was a governor, opposed Ruto, did everything against Ruto. Ruto won, he sneaked back to Ruto, then Ruto has now given him a job. Once you get a job, once you get free lunch, you won't have a voice, according to Robert Greene. So he's serving there at the mercy of William Ruto, which means William Ruto is now his boss, and he has accepted that. That is how he's going to be loyal. I want to give you an example. You know, Raila Odinga, in his initial days in politics, disagreed bitterly with Anyang' Nyong'o and James Orengo. Anyang' Nyong'o ended up supporting Gilu at one point. Orengo ended up opposing Raila Odinga, and I think even contested. What followed then was that they fell out. But the moment Anyang' Nyong'o made his way to Raila Odinga and Orengo made his way to Raila Odinga. What has happened? The best buddies, they cannot betray each other. That is what Ruto has done to Isaac Rutto. Isaac Rutto is now going to be more loyal. You can even take the case of Kipchumba Murkomen. Kipchumba Murkomen didn't have kind words for Ruto. Even Nani posted on his book, in his book recently, Kanchori. But once they started working together, they're the best buddies. That is how politics is. So now Isaac Rutto will work at the mercy of Ruto. It's now going to be William Ruto's eyes. Pale. So kama kuna member there mwenye analeta shida atamwambia, you know, we had a meeting, but niliona kama so and so ndio analeta issue. So a phone call will be made to him from status, then they'll be able to sort out. Number two, Ruto is also keen on consolidating the mountain. That is one thing which is also coming out clearly. And the idea behind consolidating the mountain is simply to isolate one man, Gideon Moi. You know, William Ruto has managed to kick Gideon Moi out of Rift Valley. In fact, in the last election, if you look at the outcome of it, Ruto is now the king. He's now comfortable. There's no threat of Gideon Moi. But, you know, in politics, once someone is down, you need to finish him. So people like Isaac Rutto outside would give Ruto more problem. Because as much as they might not have the people there, but the fact that Isaac Rutto can go and talk, you know, would be something bad. So basically, you saw Ruto consolidating, bringing the former member for the former Secretary General for KANU, Nick Salat. Now he is bringing back who? Isaac Rutto. Appointment. Who else? You need to figure out those appointments. Number three, I also tend to think that William Ruto is just extending his policy of using the first term to place Kalenjins in the strategic positions in government and any other agency which is available. Because how do you explain that in the last 3 days, William Ruto has made appointments and almost 90% of them are Kalenjins. And then still he goes ahead and makes this appointment. You know, sometimes if you were someone else, you'd even delay. But mapema ndio best, you deal with it, people talk, then later on, what will happen is that some few appointments will be made here. You make a Kikuyu, you make a Kalenjin, you make a Luo, you make a Kamba. So by that time, people shall have forgotten about these people because they shall have settled and working. And lastly, maybe not last, I also tend to think that Ruto is keen on controlling the judiciary. Once you have the judiciary in your pocket, then you go and have IBC in your pocket. Then you are done and dusted. Let's take, for example, the last judiciary. If Uhuru and Raila had managed, Wawache Kiburi, if they had managed to take control of that judiciary, I mean, there is no way some of the issues we saw at the Supreme Court, there's no way all those, were they 9 or 7 issues? There's no way all of them would have failed. You know, even the one from Tata, which was almost getting through, because they were the judiciary was anti-government, they were kind of able to find a way of throwing it out. So Ruto realized that I really need this judiciary and have control. So he now has control. So which means we'll go to election, Chebukati is out, someone else will come, declare Ruto, you complain with the issues, you go to Supreme Court. He has a foothold there. What next? But importantly, I also tend to think that Ruto is also playing something which you will come to agree with me later. Ruto is preparing Isaac Rutto to take over in Bomet. The current governor is serving his second term, if I'm not wrong. Yes, he's serving his second term. Isaac Rutto is going to be in the Judicial Service Commission. By the time of election, he will resign, or maybe his term shall have ended, then he'll make a comeback. then what will follow? He will be elected. So in 2027, he will serve his second term as a governor. What will be happening by that time? William Ruto shall be serving his second term if he will be able to win in 2027. So the scheme is William Ruto will exit, then Isaac Rutto will be emerging. Unanielewa? So Isaac Rutto will be emerging. Remember, on the other side of Rift Valley, there is also this gentleman called Kipchumba Murkomen. Anyway, I don't know what you think, but those are my thoughts. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. And guys, I want to apologize yesterday, but one, I was away. Today I was also a bit engaged, but things are not that bad. You know, my daughter was unwell a bit the other day. We took her for review today. Things are okay. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.